Hello, this is Linda Vettrus-Nichols, and do I have an amazing person to introduce you to? John Chapelier. Welcome, John.
Thank you, Linda. It's great to be here with you today.
My pleasure. We are talking about become grateful. You definitely have that in your life where it's like, what is that? I'm just doing my thing. I'm just doing life, right?
Right.
And then you lost a lot of things, literally, and you stepped into becoming grateful. What was sort of that first pivotal moment for you of becoming grateful?
Well, I told you the story, and I think it really is the first time I noticed it was the story that I told you earlier about my son and I chasing each other around the house. Yeah. And it was a terrible day. I was just a horrible day. Sure. But he was only 3 years old. He didn't know that. So we're running around and he's laughing and hollering. And I'm thinking, I don't have time for this. I'm really too busy for all of this. And but he was even at 3 years old, he was a great salesman. Yeah. So he kept me running around. He kept me thinking of other things. And his laughter and his joy just sunk right in. Nice. And it changed my perspective. And I looked at him and I thought, this kid is my Yoda. I mean, it became, I should be grateful. I've got this little boy who's changing in the way I feel and the way I think. If I just stop focusing this way and start focusing this way, right, maybe I can change my perspective and find the gratitude even in difficult situations.
Yeah, I love that. And like you had lost a marriage, your kids, you all just kind of grew apart. Then you remarried and your girls kind of came back, your two girls, and that, family unit got reconnected, if you will, through your second marriage. And you had this little boy in your second marriage. And you had said, if, losing your company and like the whole assets thing just fell apart and you came home that day to this little guy, and that's a great story too, that Susan, your second wife, she would have ended up leaving you as well, because you, even in that second marriage, still didn't have that connection. And so then to lose everything and have this little guy be part of I love your gift of desperation. Is that how you say it?
Devastation.
Devastation. Thank you so much.
Where you just get wiped out.
Yeah.
And you think life is never going to turn around.
Yeah. So he was like your little Yoda to pull you to the other side. I love that. Okay. So that was huge for you. And when you tell people about becoming grateful, just real quick, what's kind of your little take on become grateful?
Well, gratitude is something that you have to me, is a conscious decision. And then what happens with all of the components of the Daily Six is when you practice them, you notice the things that are around you. You become, I took my dog out this morning and we're running around in the dark, actually, because we have to get him out to run him around before the animal control people make me put him on a leash. Right. But all of a sudden you're noticing things. I'm noticing the trees are getting some leaves on them. I noticed the star there's a Sirius is a southern star that is always pointed up. These are things I would have never noticed before because I would have been angry or resentful about the fact that I had to be out there at 6 o'clock in the morning with the dog who made me get up, and I'm already, and it would, whip this instead of, I am grateful to have an opportunity. That's sort of that. A lot of speakers talk about the difference between have to and get to.
There you go. Like my husband, Terry Earthman-Nichols, who you know quite well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
So if you can begin to change your perspective about always how is this going to affect me? It's like, how can I affect the people around me in a positive way? How can I see what's going on out here instead of be resentful about what's going on in here? And the idea is to become grateful for all things at all times.
Yeah.
Not just the good stuff. I mean, I lost the company and a marriage and all this other things, but if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be on this path. If I hadn't ended up divorced, I wouldn't have met Susan. Susan has changed my life in so many ways, in such a positive way. And Dayton has been a great joy in my life, reuniting with the girls. All these changes came because of the fact that all this trauma happened earlier.
Right.
I've had people call me and send me emails over time about this happened. Excuse me, I lost this, I lost my job, I had to move home, and that was terrible. But by moving home, I met the love of my life, or by moving home, I found the much better job that I'm so much happier in.
Yep.
So I try to tell people it's not right or wrong or good or bad. It's wait and see. Wait and see.
Yeah, and I call that living in non-duality, because good and bad, that's duality.
Right.
And that will drive you crazy. If you want to stay sane, you want good mental health, then walk in a world of non-duality where everything just is. And when you do, you're now freed up to make a decision, not wallow in choices. It's not about choices. It's about decision. Make one. Everything just is. What do you want? That's the worst part. People don't know what they want. Why? Because they're not connected to themselves. That's why I just love the message that you have for the world. So yeah, and I'm sure, Susan was real helpful, in changing your perspective too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but it was still bottom line, John got to do the work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Susan could only do so much. And like you called it out, well, like she probably would have just left you.
Nobody is going to fix me. I mean, it's, I remember when Dayton was a little, and Susan, I was still running around trying to be a big shot versus a recovering big shot. And, and I would come home, and I'd been out and I had wine to drink with dinner and all sorts of things. And I want to play with our little, 6-month-old son. And she's like, you're not holding this kid. There's no chance in the world they're going to let you walk around with this little boy in your hands. And it's just like, oh, I never thought of it that way before. It's because the thought of how this behavior may affect this situation was not something that was really in my head. It just was
that cause and effect. You weren't connected.
Do whatever I want to do, and you need to figure out a way to deal with that. And that's such an ego-driven way to live.
Yeah.
And
me, I. Yeah. Me, myself, and I.
Yeah, man. Right? Yeah, man. That's a great threesome. I love that.
I saw a meme on the word team, and it says there is no I in team, and then they colored in the they had like block letters, so they colored in the center of the A here and down here, and it's like, there it is, it's in the A-hole. Like, oh my gosh, that is hysterical. I love it.
I mean, it's the two problems with it is this ego-driven life is such a comfortable way to live in today's society, because we are so fear-driven by so many areas. Whether
millennials are, and we can't stand them because wait a minute, I can't control you.
That's right. I really can't. I have no control. And the thing is that unless I learn to open my heart and be fully present, and stay calm here, what I have not is control, but what I have is influence. And I can be influential in a situation. I can calm a situation down. And they used to say in keynotes was, here's a situation, and here's a situation out of control. I said, either this person is going to go up here and it's really going to get bad, or this person stays calm and they'll come back down again.
Yeah, right.
You can deal with it, but my job is to help other people be successful. And however they define that, because I learned the hard way. And I also learned that there's a much easier way. Skip that gift of devastation and just be a nicer person. Stop being.
Just be a nice guy, would you? Right? Okay. So become grateful. It just really changes our perspective. It definitely opens our heart. And like, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Do you open your heart so you can become grateful, or do you become grateful so it opens your heart? Like, Where are you at with that one, John?
Well, I think it's as easy to define as the chicken or the egg, really.
Okay.
I do find that just the concept of, when I think about gratitude, I think about, what do I have? I mean, a great exercise I do with people is I have them write down 5 things I'm proud of. And then I have them scratch out the word pride and write the word grateful. You know, I'm grateful for my wife. It changes. I'm proud to be a husband. I'm proud to be I'm grateful to be a husband. I'm grateful to be a father. It changes the whole way in which you think about things. And so this is that change of perspective. I think it's probably the change of perspective that all of a sudden you notice how it makes you feel differently when your perspective changes. And that's when your heart opens up. And I know that when I'm grateful, I'm much more in the present moment, because the gratitude for me forces me to be here and be grateful for this, be grateful for this moment or this person or this situation. Right. And that sort of forces me into a mindfulness trick of being in the now.
Yeah, I love it.
I can be happy about a memory, but it's much easier to be grateful in the moment. It keeps me much more centered.
I love that. That's so cool. And you've like put all of this stuff together in the Daily 6, right? So like it really is a book you wrote like for yourself in general, right? And this and this and this. There were like 6 things that just went boop, boop, and you continue to practice them. And that's why the book is called The Daily 6. Right. So thank you so much for bringing that out into the world, and, going out and speaking on it, getting on podcasts, and just bringing your teachings into the world. And we can find you at johnchapelier.com. And you also have like what do you call it? The thing that people can sign up for to get it? A daily email kind of thing? Oh,
it's a positive thought of the week. Of the week. I tried a few daily things, and it was overwhelming. And you'd think it would be kind of easy to just throw out a blurb every once in a while, but I had to go back to just a weekly message. So
I love that though.
But it worked out. It works out good. People get it on Monday, unless it's a holiday, and then they get it on Tuesday. But it goes out every week. I've been writing it for 17 years.
Right.
So
I love that.
You can get a sign up at johnchapelier.com, and we'll put you on the list.
Nice. Oh, thank you so much, John. This has been wonderful.
Thank you, Linda. I'm very grateful to be here.
So good to have you.
Thanks.
Bye for now.